Hi, I'm Dr. Lauren Tobing Puente. I'm a licensed psychologist in New York, specializes in working with children with autism and their families. Today I'm here with Mitchell Siegel, the founder of Autism Community of Hope. So Mitchell, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
My background with autism centers around my son, who is now 26 years old, and at 4 years old, he was diagnosed with ASD.
How does Autism Community of Hope figure into this?
Autism Community of Hope's main goal is to advance the practice of early diagnosis and early intervention because it is so effective.
So we know that early detection, early diagnosis, and early intervention are so critical to children who are diagnosed on the autism spectrum. Why is early intervention so important?
It's so important because that's the point when you can really make the most changes, because the brain is so available at that point.
Can you tell us more about that? What's happening at the brain level at those early ages?
Well, as you know, there's a term called neuroplasticity or brain plasticity. Brain plasticity is really a very simple concept. Imagine if the brain was like Play-Doh, holding it in your hands and squeezing it, you know it's malleable and you can mold it. Well, so is the brain between the ages of, like, say, 2 and 5. And the more you intervene, you build new pathways where the old pathways that didn't work so well, kind of fade away. So it allows you many new pathways to open up. And that's why we see such efficacy at the younger ages, because we're getting into the brain and making changes. It's like, think of it as rewiring the brain.
The Autism Community of Hope has an individualized action plan for families. Having things being individualized is so important for children and families with autism spectrum disorders. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The three-step action plan for brighter futures is what we call it. And the first step is understanding the psychological ramifications or impact of autism on parents. And step 2 is how to access early intervention services as soon as possible. The third step of the program is to teach parents how to become an effective advocate for their child.
You mentioned the psychological ramifications of a diagnosis of autism on parents. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the Autism Community of Hope will support parents through this very challenging process?
It all goes back to a parent mentor. Their central role is to help you implement the three-step action plan for brighter futures.
How do families get started in terms of utilizing the services?
The easiest way is to just go to our website.
Well, thank you, Mitchell. The Autism Community of Hope sounds like such a wonderful program for families of children either suspected of having or newly diagnosed on the autism spectrum.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.